everyone. In today's session, we have Mr. Daisuke. He is Vice President Global Marketing at Moloco. We welcome you. How are you doing?
Yeah, thank you, Koma, for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Yeah, same here because Moloco is I am very social person. I follow a lot of content on social media marketing and everywhere. So whenever your company name splash, Moloco, I am always eager to know about it. What is it all about? I know what it is all about, but I know if you would explain, my viewership, and that would be great from the expert. So, start of the interview. Let's start it with your introduction, your company's introduction. What are you up to? What are your company's up to? Over to you.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So Morocco is a machine learning company. In fact, Morocco stands for Machine Learning Company. So the company has been founded in Redwood City, California in 2013. And the mission of the company is to empower all sides of businesses through operational machine learning. So we believe that we could have a lot more successful companies, in the world by providing access to advanced machine learning. And we started our company with our DSP product, which is the growth marketing solution, performance advertising solution for mobile app marketeers. And then we have over the years we have expanded to our enterprise products, like where we help e-commerce business as well as like streaming services to build their own advertising business. So that's the brief summary about the company.
Yeah, it's interesting because, in short, it's like if any brand wants to use their campaign, marketing campaign in a space, so your company, your platform will help them to evaluate. Is it correct? I'm getting the correct thing, right?
So yes, and then we specialize in performance marketing, performance advertising, and we want to share about the trend that we're seeing. Mobile app marketeers evolving from just reaching a broad audience to like really focused on having concrete results, acquiring the high value users and getting a high lifetime value. So yeah, that's what we do.
Nice, interesting. So, I was just going to one of the post from your company, and I've gone through a very interesting report, which your company have published it. So, based on the findings from that report, what were the most surprising insight regarding mobile app? It is about mobile app marketing, right? So, what are the important insights about that you have found out? And how these insights from marketers about the current state of the industry.
Yes, thank you for asking. So we did our mobile app performance marketing global report in 9 markets globally, partnering with research agency called Ipsos. And as you said, we basically surveyed mobile app marketeers who are responsible to, make decisions on budget allocation. And then we basically had 3, key findings. Number one is that there's a major shift from brand marketing to performance marketing, and more than half of the people surveyed said that they're increasing their mobile advertising marketing budget versus the previous year, and also performance marketing actually had a higher share than brand marketing. And then, the second findings that we had was that there was a virtuous cycle for this performance marketing. So you would acquire the users quite effectively, and then if the marketeers are happy, they would continue to invest further. So more than half of the marketeers also said that performance marketing is really the key to profitability during the current times of economic uncertainty. And then the last thing is really about AI and advanced machine learning. So during the survey, these marketeers answered that like number one criteria for choosing a performance marketing solution is advanced machine learning. So my take is that like marketeers are aware that this has been the secret sauce for the success of the great big tech companies, and it's such an important part of what they do to be successful.
Nice. Oh my God, this is my favorite topic, which we are discussing today. And I cannot wait, to understand more about it because performance marketing, you have rightly said. Um, I don't know if I'm correct or not. After COVID, what I have observed is brand are now more focusing on performance marketing. It suddenly jumped up. All of them are talking about performance marketing, performance marketing. So yeah, I truly agree with your point. So that's okay. Given with your rich experience in various tech giants, because I was going through a profile, and I would say it's really impressive thing which you have done in your past and which you're doing now. So, with your experience and Moloco's vintage points you have, what are the emerging trend pattern in mobile app marketing that marketers should most adaptive to?
Yes. No,
Yeah.
thank you. So I think, Koma, I would say three things. The first one is really, the rapid advancement of, AI and machine learning. So to your point about, evolvement of performance marketing, maybe having a step back and thinking about like traditional brand marketing,
Yeah.
it was really about, targeting the users based on like segments and cohort. And while it's been a great approach, it's basically a little bit of like compromise because we will assume like the everybody in the certain cohort or segment will have exactly the same needs. But with the technology, evolving, we can now, target people based on, we can do personalized targeting. Coma might have like, you might have a special, interest toward, certain, arts, sports, and based on your behavior, mobile app marketeers would be able to, target you as well. So I think that's really an important, trend that's, in my opinion. And I think the second one would be really around involvement on privacy. Now, as this is very important topic, and the more we care about user privacy, it would be a lot more important for marketeers to consider how they have like high quality first party data so that they are not like relying on third-party data or other sources, as well. And then the last to privacy is, I think, measurement and attribution. The measurement for the mobile app world has become like very, very complex with like multiple, definitions. So it's really important to, really go deep into understand what is the true, incremental impact that you're really, getting from running, various campaigns where, you might have a different definition, on clicks from channel to channel. And this is another topic that, we could spend for hours.
Yeah.
Uh, I would say these three are the emerging trends that I'm very, passionate about.
Yeah. So you just mentioned that, user behavior have been into consideration a lot in this report. So with user behavior, and I'm sure it is a technological market, right? With new technology coming on daily basis, monthly basis. So how have marketers' expectations changed with the respect to mobile app marketing, especially considering the rapid change in the technology and consumer behavior?
Yes, I think marketeers have clearly, changed their expectations. As you said, marketeers are expecting like results. Just reaching a broad audience is not, enough for marketeers. So there's a clear shift from like reach to results. And then also, marketeers are expecting to have the results pretty quickly. So in the survey, we found out that about almost like 30% of the marketeers have daily KPIs. So, which means like they're looking at like, their performance on a daily basis, which means like they are optimizing on a daily basis as well. So in the traditional brand marketing world, where I started my career, you would run, TV advertising, and then you will wait for a month or even a quarter in those days. But it's very different. They want the results pretty quickly. And then if you deliver the results, they will optimize the budget. But, it applies for like vice versa, as well.
Yeah, that's true. So we are just talking about performance marketing from the start, right? And I believe that performance marketing has always been a very dynamic field. So, what are some of the innovative strategies or tools that Morocco recommends or employs to optimize campaigns for its clients?
Yes, yeah. So, here, I wish I could say these are all the magics, but I think, I believe like marketing, always starts from like understanding the users and also, setting the right goals, like, no matter how the technology evolves. So, what we really emphasize and partner with our clients is to really define like clear objective and goals because going back to our conversation about AI and machine learning, no matter how advanced it may become, AI and machine learning will not be able to set the goal for you. Like you as a marketeer will have to clearly set the goal and say, I want to optimize to acquire number of users for this campaign. I want high value users and to clearly set that up. And then also really understanding about like who are your users, who's the target audience, really go deep into their insights. And this is where I think the first party data comes in, because even if we can provide a great technology, we first need to understand, who's your, what's your ideal customer profile, and then the machine can learn to, start, optimizing for, your ideal customer. And then I think the last thing that, I would say is we want to be a trusted partner. So what we provide to our clients is that we provide, a full transparency into like how we run our advertising for our clients. So our clients would have access to, impression level data, where the ads were shown, so that, they have like full visibility into like how we run our campaigns.
I truly believe you, Daisuke, because what I believe is whether you use AI a lot, like ChatGPT is there, a lot of AI tools are there right now, but it still needs a human touch. If you
Yes,
don't give human touch, it is not personalized. It will not deliver the thing you want from the particular campaign or
yes,
what particular work which you are planning to do. Perfectly, I truly agree with you at that point. So that's okay. I was going through your profile, and you have a vast experience in Southeast Asia, and being considering Southeast Asia is a huge market,
yes.
and also the emerging market right now. So can you share your some unique challenges and opportunities specific to these region in the context of mobile app marketing?
Yes. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Southeast Asia community. We've got like great, entrepreneurs, businesses, as well as, the very savvy, I would say, mobile native digital consumers. And, to your question, I think opportunity and the challenge, I feel like it goes kind of like, it's the both sides of the coin. So from an opportunity perspective, as you know, there's a major market for Southeast Asia. And consumers are really discovery driven. They have an open mind, really willing to try new things. So that opens up a lot of like opportunity for entrepreneurs and businesses. But the question is, how do you get like discovered? That's like, question number one. So you really need to, make sure that you'll be discovered by these, users. And then the second challenge, which I think is a major challenge for this region, is that like, how do you build a profitable and sustainable business? Because the users are always open to like new products and solutions, it's not really easy to like build, a strong brand loyalty and to, have the digital consumers in Southeast Asia, to be your like loyal users as well. So I think that's really a unique, challenge for Southeast Asia. When I benchmark like other, developed countries in Asia or markets like US.
Yeah, since now we are talking about challenges and we have already covered the market challenge, let's move on to the second level of challenge which we all face on daily basis is there's a constant change, right, in digital landscape nowadays. So where do you see the future of mobile app marketing heading, especially in next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, thank you. I would say I think the theme, the three themes that I shared would still be relevant. Really the advancement of the AI and machine learning, as well as thinking about like privacy and measurement as well. So I think in the next 3 to 5 years, as we spoke, I think it would be really important for like marketeers to figure out like, how to make the most of like AI and machine learning. And as we spoke, like, how do we enrich each other to, create the best, marketing campaigns that, we could do. And then privacy is, will be a continuous like theme, across the world. And therefore, first party data will continue to be even more important. And then I think in the measurement world, I'm hoping that we will evolve, and hopefully there will be a little more consistency in terms of like how we measure results, so that marketeers would have like more clarity and a consistent view on how they're performing. Because in my opinion, I feel like currently our ecosystem is like very complex and difficult to iterate for the marketeers.
Yeah, yeah. So now we are talking about marketers. So I'm sure, there are a lot of marketers who would be going through our conversation, which we will be, going live. So what one piece of advice, because you are into a lot of diverse role from the beginning. So one piece of advice, you want to give to the budding marketers aiming to make a mark in the mobile app marketing space.
Yes. No, thank you for asking. I would say like really, focus on the users. I believe like, no matter how technology evolves, marketing starts from the user. So really, focus on the users, what is the insight, what are they looking for? What's the problem that like you're trying to solve for them? What is your value proposition? What's the reason to believe that you believe your products would be beneficial for the users? And I think once you really have a strong sort of like core brand and product like messaging and value proposition, I think rest will be straightforward. But if we cannot like figure that out, like it's going to be a quite challenging situation for the marketeers. So we love to partner, from that perspective, with many of the our clients as well as our future clients as well.
Yeah, nice, nice. So, Daisuke, we have talked about the Southeast Asia market, the challenges which we have faced, a lot of things about mobile app marketing and all. So now, what we want to know is, as a vice president of global marketing at Moloco, can you share a bit about Moloco's vision and how the company aims to revolutionize the mobile app marketing domain in future?
Yes. Yeah, so I spoke about the company's like mission is really to empower all sides of like businesses. So maybe I can double down a little more on the mobile app space. What we believe is that there's a lot more opportunity for like mobile app marketers to be successful. And we have like great big tech companies, that I've also worked for, making a lot of mobile app marketers successful. But one of the things that I believe is that we also have the open internet, which is outside of the big tech. Space, which is a major, opportunity for the mobile app marketeers. So we want to make sure that we, provide basically the big tech level products and solutions to make sure that mobile app marketeers would have access to the users in the open internet, beyond big tech. So that's really the space that we want to support the mobile app marketeers to be successful, so that they can build a sustainable and profitable business.
Nice, nice. Thank you so much, Asika. I think this is the end because the topic which we are discussing, it is never end because I'm into marketing, you are into marketing, and I think marketing is a vast and we have talked about performance marketing, we have talked about challenges, how to overcome it, the reports, the mobile app, marketing, the future. We have discussed everything, but due to time restraint, we have to come to an end. But I'm sure I have taken a lot today about your interesting journey about Molocos, what Molocos is doing, and you guys are, hats off to you, you guys are doing very well. And thank you so much for taking your time. Any last word for our viewership from you? That's okay.
Yeah, thank you for your time as well, Koma. Like, I really enjoyed our conversation. And then I think for the viewers, I love marketing and, I love to, get to know about, all the viewers of the show. If you're interested to have like any conversation, please reach out to us. Like we would always be passionate to, partner and collaborate with you.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure, we'll give all the details of your website, of your profile, and I'm sure, you are such a pleasant personality. People would love to learn more about marketing, performance marketing from you. That is for sure. Thank you so much, Asake. You have a great day.
Thank you so much, Koma.